As a church leader, your time and resources are limited. It's difficult to find discipleship and Bible study materials that are affordable, easily accessible, and high quality. But there is a way to equip the people in your church every day of the week without losing sleep. Welcome to Right Now Media, the world's largest library of video-driven Bible study resources, used by more than 20,000 churches, schools, and organizations. With a Right Now Media subscription, everyone in your church can access thousands of biblical resources for kids, couples, small groups, and more. Give your members access to great content, anytime, anywhere, on any device.
And God specifically says, the way you think, that's not the same way I think.
Equip and inspire everyone in your church beyond Sunday.
Masinya Attorneys Incorporated, a boutique commercial and taxation law firm in Midrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. Strategic lawyers on point with more than 20 years of practice experience. We are professional, capable, and qualified.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Solomon Izang Shams, and you're welcome to Solomon's Temple. This is where we get to spend time together, questioning things, investigating things, and also inspiring and encouraging each other. So I thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're watching this broadcast later, not live, because I do live broadcasts, that's why it's important for you to subscribe. Excuse me. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go now, click subscription. Make sure you subscribe just so you can get notifications. Also, don't forget to click on the notification button, that is, just so you can get notifications. There are many great videos there that you can check out. I'm sure it's going to be very informative and very inspirational to you. So please make sure that you do that. But thank you everyone who's joining us right now. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I hope you're doing very, very well. So I just want to quickly bring you some information. I have quite a lot of information to give out today. So I'm gonna put up a couple of videos. So please check it out. There is just a lot that has been happening at TB Joshua's church regarding TB Joshua, his wife. They just kicked out some disciples. So I'm going to do that, throughout today. So make sure you follow. That's why it's important for you to subscribe now and just click on the notification button, just so when I come on, you're going to be able to get me. All right. So I want to thank everyone who is here right now from Italy. Felicia, thank you, Felicia. Appreciate you. Florence is saying, thank you for opening my eyes. Well, we thank God. We thank God. Live season here is saying Cohen disciples are leaving. Yeah, they're leaving. They're not leaving. They're being kicked out, right? They're getting kicked out. Just follow me during the day. I would give you a lot of inside info. I spent some time just now speaking to a guy who used to be a part of, working for TB Joshua. Thank you, Kakiso. I see you, Tuli from Fitbank. Oroma from Uganda. Thank you, Blessed Child of God from West Sussex. And we have Boyd. Thank you, Boyd. Choni is here from Tohoyando, Lufuno. Thank you, Kent from Pretoria. From Tanzania, Yolanda. Sherry, I see you. Evelyn, you also here. And as usual, Christine, you never miss. Thank you, Brits is all in the temple. Bajan, from New York City. Sunshine from Zambia. Thank you so much, every one of you guys who are here. Thank you, my Ghanaian brother from Pretoria. Sky, Lizzie from Mpumalanga. Thank you guys from Mokopani. Gustav. Thank you, Ngiako. Every one of you guys, thank you. All right, so I just want to give you just an update quickly. This is something I just want to do maybe in the next 10 minutes. There's a situation where because of Bushiri in South Africa here, officials were suspended by the South Africa's Department of Home Affairs. So that's like Internal Affairs Department or Homelands, depending on which part of the continent, which part of the world you are, Homelands Department or whatever. So they were suspended. So the thing is, because Bushiri is gone out of South Africa, doesn't mean that, the damage that he has created, we're not going to be seeing it every now and then. I was talking to a pastor friend yesterday that we spent time together, Pastor Ben, and I told him in the next 10 years, Bushiri is always going to be in the news. Bushiri is always going to be talked about because he has created a lot of damage. He has taken shorter ways that people who would never had actually come out to talk about him, they will not come out. Women will come out and say, this is what he did to me. Women will come out and say he took money from me and all that kind of stuff. They will come out. Women will come out and say, look, this is what he did to us. Young girls would come out and say, look, this is his baby. I had a baby with him. That's what's going to happen in the next 10 years. Because everybody is at a different level. So we're going to be hearing about one scandal after another scandal, and another scandal. Why? Because that is the lifestyle of Bushiri. So there's a lot of wrongs that he did everywhere, from financial to spiritual to sexual. There's just a lot of it. But you see, when he comes before the cameras in his church and all that, he pretends to be another person. So what he's selling to you is different from who he is. He's selling to you something that he doesn't partake of. He's trying to sell to you righteousness, but he doesn't partake of righteousness. He's trying to sell to you the financial blessings of God, but he doesn't partake in that because he manipulates for him to get the finances that he had. So there's a lot of facade, there's a lot of counterfeit type living with a lot of these charlatans and fake prophets and these vagabonds, like I call them. They are vagabonds. They keep jumping and hopping around from one place to another. So with Bushiri, you're going to be hearing this and this from South Africa. And remember, he was only here for a total of about 6-7 years. But the destruction that he has caused is just enormous. And all you're going to hear about is destruction, not anything positive. Because he never actually did nothing positive. All he did was to destroy and take a shorter route, manipulate, deceive, and just keep going on. That's all he did. If Bushiri was still in South Africa with this broadcast that I'm doing and talking about him, he would have taken me to court long time ago. Because that's how he operates. He would have tried to silence me. And he knows that I'm not the kind of person that you give money to. You see, the thing for me is they don't even consider offering me money because I have created a disposition where they know that even if they come to offer me money, I'm going to expose them because I'm not going to accept their money. So it's better for you to actually create, people know you for somebody that's time for something that they cannot even come and offer you money, right? From a distance, they know, no, this one, you cannot offer him money. Instead of coming to offer you money and you rejecting it. So I don't even give you the opportunity to offer me money, to bribe me. I don't even give you the opportunity to come bribe me so I can turn it down. No, From a distance, you know that this one, if I go try bribe him, he's going to expose me. And that's how we should stand. So I'm not going to give even the devil a room. I mean, I'm not going to take anybody's money. But for me, from a distance, you know because you know where I stand and you know what I stand for. You know I'm not in this. It's not a gimmick. You know I'm not in this like you trying to make money. If I was in it trying to make money, you offer me money, obviously, you bribe me, I'm going to keep quiet and kill some stories that all these girls are bringing to me, or come here and try to say positive things about you and all that. I cannot do that. My conscience is answerable to God, not to money, not to the dollars, not to the rand, not to the Kenyan shilling, not to the kwacha, not to the naira. Because they go around bribing. And that is exactly what happened in the case of this situation, that 5 officials at the Department of Home Affairs in South Africa were suspended. The first one actually even tried to take them to court, and he never succeeded. So the story around that is very simple. This is one of the headlines of one of the newspapers in South Africa. 5 officials suspended for Bushiri's fraudulent permanent residency documents. 5 officials. Can you believe it? And let me tell you something about the Department of Home Affairs in South Africa, the ones that issues permits and visas and permanent residencies and citizenship. It is the most corrupt department in South Africa. It has become a market where you buy and you sell, where they would sell you citizenship, they would sell you permanent residency, they would sell you a visa, and then you have the money, you purchase, you pay. If I had wanted to become a citizen of this country, and if I'm fraudulent and corrupt, I would have gotten this long time ago. But how can I live with that, with my Christian testimony? Even if nobody is aware of it, I'm aware of it. God is aware of it. But Bushiri, you can imagine, initially it was just 1 official, now it's 5. So, and these 5 officials are part of the officials that push and gave the go-ahead for him to be issued a permanent residency at every stage. He was not qualified to get permanent residency. He has not been in the country for 5 years. He got his permanent residency way before he was due. He never met the requirements. But these 5 officials who are currently suspended gave the go-ahead. Not because they go to his church and they attend his church, no. Because they were bribed. The Home Affairs Department is struggling with that. They have almost run down the place. If there's a willing buyer, there's going to be a willing seller. Some of them would say, no, well, it's people from other African countries that come to bribe these guys. But if I bribe you, you have 2 choices. You accept the bribe, or you deny, you don't accept the bribe. It's simple. So there's a willing buyer and there's a willing seller. And you can imagine Bushiri going through his people to bribe. You're calling yourself a prophet of God, to bribe your way, you and your wife, to acquire your permanent residency status fraudulently through bribing your way. And you are the one encouraging people to pray, but you refuse to pray. You see prayer as irrelevant for you to be able to achieve and get your permanent residency. You were not patient enough. You went and bribed your way. If you were still in South Africa and without all this scandal for him to run away, he probably would have gotten his citizenship by now. He's not eligible. I don't even want to go into the details of his ineligibility. But he goes on to say, the Home Affairs Department has confirmed that 5 officials has been internally charged and are facing disciplinary process for their role in how now-fugitive prophet Shepherd Bushiri acquired his permanent residency. How did he acquire that? The investigation was done by the department and they found out that this guy is not qualified to actually be issued with a permanent residence. Him and his wife, Mary Bushiri. How did he even acquire that? And you see, let me tell you, there are many men of God, many prophets and apostles and bishops and pastors who are currently sitting with fraudulent documents, permanent residencies, and visa citizenship. It could be here in South Africa. It could be up in Zambia. It could be in Kenya. It could be in Ghana. It could even be in the US. It could be up in the UK. Maybe you got married. Some of them would pretend they're married to somebody who's not their spouse. They don't even live together. They're not even in a relationship. They pay them to pretend that they're married. And then they get married just for them to have their visa or their status rectified. Lies upon lies. How do you feel that is coming from a so-called church, from a so-called prophet? He's not a prophet. He's a vagabond. Vagabond. And they will do a lot of that behind the scene. They feel money can get you whatever. They feel your position, your status can get you whatever you want to. Well, the investigation has still been going on, and right now they're actually trying to get the financial statements from the banks of these 5 officials who are implicated. And the Minister for Home Affairs in South Africa says he indicated that the department was experiencing problems in getting to the bottom of why the official collaborated with the church leader, and suggested that banks were not willing to share financial information. So they need to see their bank statements to know where certain money came in and why that money came in. But the banks, because of maybe some privacy regulations or whatever, they're not willing. But I'm sure there's going to be a way to navigate around that. Because how else would you expect? Bushiri is the kind of person, for him, everybody has a price. Okay, how much is it? And sometimes Bushiri behaves like a Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? Nigerians would just believe, no, you can get whatever you want to get. How much? No, name me a price. There's always a way out. Money can do anything for you. We have that mentality as Nigerians. And that leads us to do certain things that are irregular, that are wrong, that are fraudulent. Is the truth. Is the truth. Some of you have helped pastors to go behind the scene to irregularly get a piece of land fraudulently because they want to build a church, or to get a building fraudulently and you don't meet all the regulations for you to have a church there. There are so many of these things going on with church leaders, especially the vagabonds ones. There's so many. So it's just very despicable that church is associated, a so-called church is associated with fraudulent acquisition of South Africa permanent residency. And trust me, Shepherd is not the only one. False prophet Bushiri is not the only one. There are many of them sitting in South Africa now, because the system also is corrupt. a lot of corrupt people at the Home Affairs Department. There are good people at the Home Affairs Department, don't get me wrong. But the corrupt ones are bringing the bad name to them. They've turned the place into a market. They've made so much money. You see some of them living, buying houses and all that. Where is that money from? How much is your salary? And you, as a church, as a pastor, instead of being the one to go in there and do what is right and bring correction just so they know that you are different. No, you went in and you joined the crowd. You started getting this fraudulently. You bribed your way. You didn't have the required documents. You didn't meet the requirements. No problem. How much is it? Okay, we're going to pay you 100,000. Okay, here is 200,000. Make sure we sort this out. Sort everybody out that needs to sign, that needs to give the go ahead for me to be issued. Money. That is a misuse of money. Anytime you use your money to bribe someone to get something from them, you just misuse and abuse money. You hear me? Anytime as a Christian, or even if you're not a Christian, you use your money to bribe someone to get something, is an abuse of money. Why do you think they put people in jail? Because you abuse money. Because it's an abuse of money. And how do you expect to continue to enjoy what you keep abusing? How do you expect God to keep giving you what you keep abusing? I bless you, I give you money, and then you take it, you go and cheat on your wife, and you buy your girlfriend this, you buy your girlfriend that. How do you want God to respect that you are using the money appropriately? You're abusing them, misusing the money. And if the door shut, you start crying, you run to God again. Now you want to be a Christian, right? So we need to learn from all this. We need to learn from all this. Kolani is saying they call bribe favor. That is no favor. That's what they're saying. They'll come and give testimony, but something totally wrong. Kolani is saying, one thing I like about you, bro, so is that you stand for nothing else but the truth. God bless you for that. Respect. Praise God. Christine says, mafioso mentality. Indeed. Bojan said they need to have a court order to release those bank statements. Yeah, there's a way out. There's a way around it. Tuli says God will expose all of them. And she's also saying they must go to jail for corruption. Enough is enough. Jeremy is saying, yeah, the prophet does not pray. He pays. Indeed. Indeed. Pakalita is saying, yes, Solomon, both the prophet and officials are wrong. Bushiri is worse because he's a man of God. Cecilia is saying, I'm afraid they might kill you. My life is in God's hands, Cecilia. Keep praying for me. For my life does not belong to me. If I perish, I perish. And we all have to come to a place in our life journey where we say, if I perish, I perish. Until you get to a place in your life's journey where you say, if I perish, I perish. Your level of understanding who God is would not be sufficient for you. Mikey says, what is kept in the dark, God will reveal their dark secrets in daylight. That's true. Tuli is saying, sad now, they will lose their jobs. Exactly. And some of these guys are fathers, their parents, their families to take care of. They have kids to send to school. They have 5 people to feed. How will that continue? Just because you now decided to take a bribe. Probably going to fire you with no anything to cover. Yvonne said, you're covered with the blood of Jesus. It is well. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Hi, Lukayode. Good to have you here. The love of money is the root of all evil. Henry is saying, I thought there wasn't any hope for the church. I thank God for many more like you that has not bent their knees to bow. No, we shall not bow down. Neither shall you, Henry. You shall not bow down to bow. So I just wanted to share that with you, just so you know what's going on around that. I'll be back later today. I'm going to do about 2-3 different broadcasts. So please go and subscribe and click the notification button. Or if you subscribe, click the notification button. I'm going to be bringing you some breaking news from Synagogue Church of All Nations. I'm going to be bringing the verdict of a court order from about the Synagogue Church of All Nations appointing TB Joshua's wife as the trustee member. I'm going to go into that. I'm going to also be bringing you breaking news on how some disciples have been looting at TB Joshua's church, looting so many things. And finally, I will bring to you videos of disciples being kicked last night, being kicked out of Synagogue Church of All Nations. Some of them have been living there for over 20 years. So please make sure you check that out. I'll be doing that throughout the day today. But first, you make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and also click on the notification button. Thank you, everyone who has been supporting us. Thank you for your financial support to me. I appreciate it. Without you, I cannot keep doing what I'm doing. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. With the $5, with the $10, with the $100, with the $200, I thank you. 2 days ago, I interviewed a young girl, Blessing, who was married to Precious Iginla, Joshua Iginla's brother, and they kicked her out after 7 years of marriage and took her kids. And she hasn't seen her kids for 8 months, don't have nothing. They left her with nothing. And you guys raised money. And I think at the last count, speaking to her recently, the money's raised is almost about 200,000 naira. Thank you so much. It is you who is doing that, not me. It is you who have, who God gave the heart to do that. So thank you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. So I'll catch you again later. Remember, we're going to do a TB Joshua run today. So brace yourself. God bless you. And I'll catch you again later.
Hi, my name is Reju, Dr. Reju. I'm a workplace effectiveness strategist and I consult for churches because I have a passion for pastors. I have a burden for pastors because of my belief in the tremendous amount of influence that they can have in society. But over the years, the global church, we've focused on only what happens within the four walls of our buildings. We've reduced the definition of church to a building which we know is not accurate. But the purpose of this conference, this workshop, is to give us a wider kind of horizon, to widen our horizon, to look at the church through a truly biblical prism, to expose pastors to gain an insight into the biblical definition of church so that we can express that full definition and become that externally focused church. A friend of mine once said, "Where is the church on a Sunday after the parking lot is empty?" That is what this workshop is all about. Call Joy Bringers on the numbers on your screen. See you then.
Masinya Attorneys Incorporated, a boutique commercial and taxation law firm in mid-range Johannesburg, South Africa. Strategic lawyers on point with more than 20 years of practice experience. We are professional, capable, and qualified.